Here we go, Wolverines. The game you've all been waiting for, the one that matters most, the 121st meeting of Michigan versus Ohio State. The series is at 62, 52, and 6. We're coming off a 4-game win streak, and none of that matters going into Saturday at Ann Arbor Stadium at the Big House. Super excited to talk to you about it, Coach Blade. And I'm talking to the man, the only man that said that Michigan would go into Columbus last year and come out victorious, and told us that you always have a chance no matter which way the scales are tipping in this game. So I'm excited to hear what you think.
The
What
cliche is throw the records out, but it really applies. Uh, this game, both teams, both staffs, the fans, the alumni, there's a singular focus, and that's this game. And historically, there's a lot of anticipation. They are hungry for a victory down there, as they should be. We've beaten 4 in a row. That's doesn't happen. They had a string against us when we went through what I call the dark ages, the long Maze of Blue nightmare during the Hoke and Rodriguez era. But these two teams have tremendous tradition. This game. There you go. And I
I
got my
forgot.
varsity jacket on. You're ready.
I forgot to wear my hard hat. What year did you get that?
You're ready. You're ready. And you can talk about why Coach Carr gave you guys that.
No, this one's for you. This ball game.
Yeah, we built a building. Somebody gave me that. That's right. When I was running a company, we built a building. So I had forgotten about that. But that's like, Coach Moore wore the blue jacket, and people made fun of him when he talked about we got to be a blue collar team. We got to get back. We got to carry our lunch pail. We got to do the work after we lost to USC, and people made fun of him, and they're stupid for doing that because he's communicating to young men, and he's communicating his values. You got to work hard. You got to be blue collar in your approach. That means you're a hard working person. There's no job too small. There's nothing. There's no sacrifice too big. This is a great honor to play in this game, and he was making a point of emphasis for his team, and they embraced it. Whether or not anybody else liked it and made fun of it, which was stupid, because these are young, impressionable men, and that's leadership. This game, without any reservation, I can call. And maybe when New Zealand plays Australia in rugby, there's that kind of passion. But this game, is bigger than any game or rivalry. I think it eclipses them all. Not that there's not big rivalries out there, and this is a rivalry weekend, but it's a great honor and privilege to play in this game. And if you can beat them, if you can beat Ohio State, year in and year out, then you beat the best. That is the challenge, and that it has to be our approach. We respect them. We respect them for what they are, what they've done. Sometimes I think they apparently their fans don't have some sort of lack of respect for us. They want to cross out all the M's and do all that stuff. We don't do that stuff. We're not crossing out O's in Ann Arbor or any of that stuff. We respect Ohio State. And we know that they are going to come up here with a gifted team. There are I count 13 kids on that team. I say kids, young men on that team that are potential first-round draft choices. There are 4 on defense probably, and I include the quarterback, Sayan, who's a gifted, talented young man. We probably, if you start to count that up, maybe don't have that many players that will be. That doesn't mean anything. Tom Brady was taken in the 6th round, but we probably don't have that. We're not populated probably with that amount of potential first-round pro picks. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I've seen players play out of their mind that did not end up and made a big difference in the outcome of the game. That did not even end up making a pro team. So this is about this game. This is about the performance in your approach, in your preparation for Saturday. This is what it's about. I can't wait. We get Thanksgiving kind of gets in the way. Happy Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family. Hopefully the Lions will win. But this is a wonderful rivalry. It's a great weekend. The, the undefeated national champs come to Ann Arbor this week with an extraordinarily gifted, well endowed team. I mean, they are loaded. Um, and we have our young quarterback, our fighting freshman, um, fighting Frosh, and we're ready. We're prepared, and we're not going to back down. We're going to play our very best, and our ambition, our motive is to win and get to where we want to go, to win this unbelievable game, this great rivalry game, which unto itself is a great accomplishment, and then go on to do other things, which would include potentially the opportunity to go to Indianapolis to play a great Indiana team. So that's where we are. I think about Bo all the time this week, all the great players that have played in this game, all my great friends that are alumni and friends that are passionate about Michigan. And this is a game that your blood starts to flow and the emotions flow. And they play the victors and you get tears in your eyes. This is it. This is
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I can. I'm getting goosebumps just talking to you, Coach. That Bo, I think about him all the time too. Passing away on the 18th before the 2006 game. That speech that we heard, I know I talked about it on here last year. Was just, I can still hear every single word he said like it was yesterday. I could, and how he, what he talked to us about, and then how hard it was for him to get out of there, and then passing within 24 hours, and then obviously it's coincides with the the 1 versus 2 of the big game, so it all is man. Then the 10-year war and all that good stuff. I'm so excited, Coach. But the one thing I did want to, I don't want to just jump over it. There's some stuff in the Big Ten that's going. Hey, what happens if we beat them? Are we gonna make it? If we don't beat them, do we have a chance? Notre Dame is ranked.
If we do not beat them, we will not be in a college football playoffs with 3 losses.
Well, and
USC will not be in a college football playoffs with 3 losses. Now Notre Dame apparently can lose 3 games. They can lose 2 for sure, and they'll take them because they're pushing them in there. They want them. They obviously want them. They want them more than Miami. They want them more than any of these other teams. So they're going to get Notre Dame. But Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon are in. Now, Oregon would have to falter and lose to Washington, but I think with 2 losses, they would still be, I think they're still viable. I think they'll take 3 from the Big Ten for sure. Those guys are in. Ohio State is in regardless of what happens in this game. They're in. Michigan is not. Michigan has to win this game to get into college football players and maybe has to go to Indianapolis and win, potentially. So, but that would be great. And that would be frosting on the cake. But the cake is the Ohio State game. The Ohio State game. That is what we want to win. That is where we're going to put all our effort. We're going to put everything we have. And I want the fans to do the same thing. We need the fans. The fans are going to be our 12th man. I want them to come and I want them to make noise. I want them to yell. And I want it to snow and I want it to be cold because we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball and we're going to possess the ball. That's what we're going to do. We're going to hit them. We're going to hit them hard. We're going to hit them in between the whistle. The game will be won by the offensive line and the defensive line at Michigan. And this is a huge challenge for those guys because Ohio State is a gifted, gifted team. They have maybe the best player in college football in the receiver Smith. The other kid's going to be a first-round draft choice. Sayan is completing almost 80% of his passes. Now, he grew up in California, so we'll see if he likes snow in Ann Arbor. We'll see if he likes it when it's cold. He has only run for 20 yards. 20 yards on the season. That's what he's run for. 0.7, not even 1 yard a carry. He is not a runner. He's going to throw the ball, but he's a gifted thrower and throws it as well as anybody in college football right now. Anybody. So that's what we're up against. And we're up against a defense led by Matt Patricia, who all the people in Michigan know, the former Lions coach who really distinguished himself as a defensive coordinator, MIT grad for the New England Patriots. And they're not, Rob, they're giving up less than a touchdown a game. I mean, they're giving up. They're unbelievable. I mean, 7.6, just a little over a touchdown a game, and
I'm telling
we're giving up 17.3. Now we're really good. Our
Coach,
defense is good.
if you see his defense and you watch what they're doing, it's a complete different defense than what Jim Knowles ran. So they revamped everything. They play a lot of odd front they got a 4-eye, and they got this rush end Reese. Okay, people are talking about him being top 3 pick. Okay,
Well,
so
he's a rush in, but he's a linebacker. No, he's Arvell Reese going to be up there. Styles, the linebacker. I'm telling you, that Curry is a handful.
yeah,
The kid who has waited so long to play is finally playing as a senior.
yeah.
And he's really, I mean, he was a wrecking crew, ball in the Rutgers game. And so our right tackle has got his hands full. We're going to have to help him some. But Sprague has to play his greatest game. Every man on our team has to play their greatest game, the greatest game they've ever played to win this game. Because they are good, man, and they are well coached, and they want to win. They are hungry to beat us. Now, they're in the playoffs. That's done. So no matter what happens, they're going to go, just like last year. But for us, this is the season. We have had an arduous, tough road, I think, to get here. It has not been easy. We've had our struggles. We've lost 2 games against 2 really great teams. 2 teams that, could have easily, USC could have easily been in the playoffs had they not stumbled a couple times. And then, I think Oklahoma's going to go. They're good. That Mateers, and he was lights out. So that's where we are. We are the underdog, the prohibitive underdog. They are the prohibitive favorites. I don't care what you want, 10, 14 points, what anybody's saying. We're not going to be focused on that. We have to execute. Alignment, assignment, technique. 11 men playing together, one heartbeat, going together, not making a mistake, holding on to the ball, winning a turnover battle, no penalties. Neither one of these teams are penalty teams. I think they get penalized like 38 yards a game. We're a little bit under that, 37. So neither one of them now, but critical penalties, as we know, can kill you. We can't hit the quarterback after he releases it. They're really sensitive to that right now. I saw some key calls in other games the last week. So we're anxious we're going to be to hit that kid. We want to hit him. I think we're going to do the same thing we did last year. We're going to form a dish around him, but we don't have to worry too much about him running the ball. I think his longest run is 11 yards. They're not going to beat us with saying running the ball. They're going to beat us by protecting him and getting the ball into the hands of their gifted receivers. They have not rushed the ball well. Now, everybody says, the last couple games they've rushed the ball well, but they haven't been challenged the last couple games. They played UCLA and Rutgers. They outmanned those teams. So Bo Jackson is their best runner. He's a young freshman out of Cleveland. What a wonderful name. We saw Bo Jackson a long time ago when he played for Auburn, and he was – I hope he's not Bo Jackson, not that Bo Jackson, but then he potentially could be someday. He's a young freshman player, but he's their best runner. We got to stop the run, force them into passing. They do not throw the ball to the backs a lot. Now they have four really great receivers, including their tight end, and those are the guys they're going to count on to make the plays. And we have Smith, Cardell Tate. You have to, you can't really put 2-3 guys on Smith because you got Tate over there. And then they get Claire the ball, the tight end. So, this is going to be a great challenge for Wink. I also think that Wink is a key to this game because I think he's been able to talk to Sharon and Chip and talk to them about how he thinks Patricia's going to do this because of his long history and background of watching his defenses and playing against them in the National Football League.
Well, and that's what I was going to say.
It's going to be a chess match.
Well, that's what I was going to say earlier, Coach. Is Patricia's defense? They're running kind of like the old Belichick stuff that he used to run at the Giants. It is what they did when they had Vince Wilfork and they had the good. They're playing that style of defense, and he's doing a lot of he disguises a lot of stuff very well in creative ways. So he's done a really good job. Like you said, I don't think they've played anybody, but I think that Patricia's going to be a foe. I'm interested to see how he attacks us if
Well,
he
he's going
brings
to try to take
the thing
Bryce.
is he has Caleb Downs, coach. This is the one thing I want to say. He has the Swiss Army knife. Caleb Downs can play high, he can play corner, he can play in the box, he can play any position on the field besides D line. So
Caleb, the pros rate him like 99 and then high nine, low,
oh,
mid, and they don't do that. If you're high 80s, you're usually a first round draft pick. He's way up there. He's a
yeah,
he's a great player. And they have a lot of great players. They got Styles, and they got we talked about Arville, the Reese. They got four
yeah.
guys.
I said Reese is a linebacker, but they bring him and rush
They
him.
put him on the edge. They bring him because
Yeah,
he plays four men, then he'll go jump over there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so our tackles got to play great. Now old Frazier's been doggone good since he's got in there, and Frazier protects the passer pretty well. Our left tackle. But Sprague has struggled a little bit. Our right tackle, who I love our guys. They're coming together, coalescing. We got to help him a little bit. We got to chip over there because that
Three red shirt
that
freshmen.
Caden Curry comes hard. That kid, and he's going to come. Now, one of the things we don't do, we're going to run the ball. We are going to run the ball, and we're going to be patient when we run the ball. We're going to have Jordan Marshall back, the best player, the best back in the league, and then we got Cousdale. If that shoulder gets bruised up and he can't go, Cousdale will come in and run the ball. We know that now. He's proven that. So we're going to run the ball. If Bredesen can't do it, we're going to have Hoffman leading us, and he's going to lead the way. That's how we're going to do it. Klein, we got really good, gifted tight end. Klein, he's a good blocker. So we're going to run the ball. They have not gone against a team that really is features the run. They have not done that. Now, so we got to hit them. We got to hit them. Hit them. The key to this game is we will be more physical than a very physical, talented Ohio State team. And let's make no mistake about it. If you live in Michigan and you're a Michigan guy, well, Ryan Day, we don't like Ryan. Ryan Day is a great coach, a gifted coach. And he's a great offensive mind. And the guy who calls the plays for him, who played a receiver there, is really a creative guy. But he is a quarterback. And the guy calling the plays is a receiver. They want to pass.
Oh
They
yeah,
want to pass.
yeah.
We have an offensive tackle calling is our head coach. He wants to run because he knows what that means, particularly in the Midwest, deep into November, almost December. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. It's going to be damp. It's going to be wet. And we're going to win it if we win it. And we can win it because they are not unbeatable. They are formidable, and they will be extraordinarily tough to beat. But we can win it.
Yeah.
We got to do it right. Bryce has to be at his very best. Now, Bryce can beat them with his legs. Sayan cannot beat us with his legs. Bryce can throw the ball and run the ball. So I believe that we have to recognize that and run the ball with him and have some design things. Now we're doing the run pass option. We're getting better at that. What Patricia's going to try to do is fool us. He's going to try to fool Bryce. He's got a young quarterback. He's going to disguise the fronts and the coverages. He's not a heavy blitz guy. But he gets pressure with just his 4 or 5 guys. He gets a lot of pressure like that.
He'll get pressure. He'll get home with 5. He can create it, and then he can cover it up on the back end. He knows how to marry it.
They got good players, man. The other kid over there with that we who's played against us before over there. So they got Curry, and then they got the other guy over there on the other side, and he comes too. I mean, they got good players. They got let's not make any mistake about it. It is not, it's not. I just talked to the great Barry Pearson not too long ago, who was an obscure defensive back at the University of Michigan in his senior year, and single-handedly, but the number 1 team in the country. And the writer for the Detroit Free Press, Joe Falls, wrote, Ohio's Woody Hayes coming in and said was his best team ever, had all these great All-Americans, Jack Tatum, all these guys, John Hicks, unbelievable players, Brockington, all these great players. He said 456, Ohio State 456, Michigan 0. Now, we had lost 2 games that year, but we started to march and get better after we lost those 2 games. And by the time they came to Michigan Stadium, you weren't going to tell Jim Manich, Dan Deerdorf, and or my great friend Barry Pearson that they were going to lose to Ohio State, and they played out of their mind, and of course put Bo on the map. And Barry had 3 interceptions, 2 punt returns back inside the Ohio State 5. So it is not dissimilar. That is a really, really gifted team that Ohio State has. And there are going to be a lot of these guys. I mean, Smith, if he came out this year, he'd be the first guy taken. Sayin would be taken way up there, and the safety might be taken second or third. I mean, that's how good he is. So we have a formidable challenge in front of us. Are they beatable? Yes, nobody's unbeatable. Nobody's unbeatable. I mean, just look at the history of the world. I can talk to you about underdogs that have won. Are they prohibitive favorites? Yes. ESPN says 78% chance that Ohio State will win this game. 78% chance. So they give Michigan a 22% chance of winning. Now, when I go into this game, I don't think any of the team is favored, particularly in this circumstance. And if you approach it that way, as a player, you're making a mistake. This is a great team. We need to respect them. We have to understand what they're great at and try to mitigate what they're great at. Wink has to take away what they're good at, and then we have to make them do something that they're uncomfortable doing, and that would be running the ball and even having the quarterback run to beat us. And the same thing on the other side. Wink has to take away what they do well, which is pass, and those great, great gifted receivers. And then the way we're going to do that is we got to get pressure. Barham and Moore have got to show up. Last year, he formed a dish around their quarterback. We had those 2 great defensive tackles that they didn't get sacks, but they took the offensive linemen and they pushed them back, and they were in the lap of the quarterback. He couldn't see, and then the guys came around the sides. They did not leave their rush lane. They put pressure on, but they didn't let him out of the pocket. But even if he was in the pocket, he had to reset his feet. He couldn't see anyway because those guys, the way they played up front there. Now somebody's got to get free and make some big plays.
Coach, I agree with you. I think that we won through our 2 defensive tackles this year. I think the key because they were trying to run the ball on us.
Graham and go against anybody in the National Football League, and that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, that's what he did. That's what got Shedeur Sanders his first win. But that's what they're doing. With this year, I believe the key to our defense this year is our linebackers playing well and forcing. So we have to play better in coverage. We have to stop the run. Okay, we have to mitigate that, and we have to only a couple yards and keep them under. But if we can because what they're going to do is they're going to try to take the top off on us. They want to get that guy. They want to get this kid in rhythm. So they want to hit him a big play downfield. If we can eliminate the digs and the crossing routes, and we can make him throw it, and we can double team that guy, now we're going to put them in a bind. And the only way we do that is if our linebackers get underneath these routes and they find the guy in their zone and they carry him. Because right now, and I think
in the red zone, we can't allow ourselves to be picked. They pick.
Oh, Coach, they pick. You saw the Rutgers game. And then they don't even call it, man. They picked us last year.
And I got to be honest with you. I saw him throwing some punches after the whistle. We should not do that. If they do that, that's up to them. And I don't believe in that, and that is costly.
Don't engage.
And we can't do that. We have to maintain our poise.
I'm telling you, Coach, the linebackers are the key. And if our Will Backer can't play, I was listening to Vance Bedford talk. He said, maybe put Barham back there. I mean, he has that. Barham, I think, hasn't been he was let off the leash, and then he started learning his assignments, and he hasn't been able to put it both together to have relentless effort.
Now he was pretty good against Maryland. He was pretty motivated because he transferred from Maryland.
But I think if he gets pressure,
you saw him fall down the line on the backside and chase down several ball carriers.
It was great.
When you got a guy who can do that and pursue like that, and so we have to close. We have to close on them. We have to understand they're going to hit a few big plays. We can't lose our poise. They're going to have some success. We're not going to shut them out. They're going to have some success, but we have to keep coming back and persevere and believe in ourselves. Now, here's something I think that we have been successful And now we talked about this before the Maryland game. We had to be better in the red zone. So we improved, but from our, to date, statistically, we're only scoring and coming away with points 78.3% of the time that we're in the red zone. Now our defense is holding the opponents. Opponents have only been successful, and you got to be if you're in the high 80s, 90s, it's good. 78 is not good enough. If you got to be an offense that gets there. Their offense in the red zone is almost 90%. They're going to come away with points 90% of the time.
I'll tell you.
This is an amazing statistic, and this is a credit to their defense. Our defense, which is really good. Our defense is good. Our defense is holding people to 80 yards rushing a game. They're not doing that well, but our defense is in the red zone. People only score 82% of the time. Their defense, who is only allowed 7.6 points a game, that's the most important. Points a game is the most important statistic that there is defensively. All the other statistics mean nothing, but this is part of that statistic. Their defense is only allowing people to score in the red zone 63% of the time. That is a challenge right there. I mean, they are good down there. So, on third down, they're only allowing people to be successful on third down 28% of the time. We're allowing people, and anytime you get down under 35 or so, you really got a good defense. Our defense is right at 35.2 on third down. Our offense has been successful 48.6, so that's moved. We've moved up, and you want to be about 50 at least. Their offense and on third down conversions is successful 55.8% of the time. Now, you can say they haven't played a tough schedule, and they have not. They beat Texas 14-7. 14-7 in the first game. Now, everybody's come on, that seems like years ago, and it was a long time ago. And we have a lot of downs and games under our belt. But Arch Manning did not play well. And if he would have hit some open receivers, and they can say Patricia fooled him and all that stuff, and maybe he did, but he flat out missed guys. And he's played much better since then, and he's improving all the time. But he had a few passes. Texas could have won that game. Now, woulda, if, shoulda. But other than that, who have they played? They haven't really.
Penn State. That's about it. Penn State.
Schedule, the schedule hasn't been rated highly. It's tough. No USC, no Indiana, no. They got a Penn State team that was down, and Penn State moved the ball against them. A little bit.
Coach, I want to point out a couple things for our defense really has to understand what their offense is trying to do. Okay. So if you look at when I was coaching linebackers, I would always say, we need this first thing we would diagnose is where does the running back line up and does he tip off what they're going to do? Does he tip off the pass? Obviously, you're a D lineman. You look at the knuckles to see if it's run or pass on the offensive lineman. We're looking at the running back. If that running back's flat, he's going to run a stretch play or they're going to run an RPO. If he's back a little bit, now they're running counter or duo. And they don't really run inside zone like they did last year. They run duo where they get vertical. It's a double team to the vertical. And it's a little bit different than what they do. So they stretch out, and then he runs right down at your throat. So it's not a cutback like Travion and these guys. This is hey, I'm either going to run to the sideline and find my hole, or I'm going to come right at you. So I'm interested.
But he's not Travion right now. He's not.
No,
he is
no.
Not.
And then another thing.
He's really a good back. I mean, a very fine back, and really do it well for a freshman.
Well, and when you're a coach, you want to get your players the ball. So, we have to know where number 4 is, okay, and how they're putting him. Where is he at? Is he in the slot? If he's in the slot, guess what? He's getting the ball. They're going to pass. He's not going in the slot to get in, have a run block, and have somebody roll up on his line.
They want to get him on a safety or a linebacker.
So we got to know where he lines up. In our defense, coach, that we did not do great against Maryland, and we haven't done great all season. We need to play empty better. We need to understand how, because they do it. Maryland motioned to empty on us, and there were guys open.
That means they're an empty set. That means there's no running back.
Yeah. So Ohio State's going to do it too.
They're going to threaten you with a lot of receivers. They're going to spread the field and put a lot of receivers out there. That's what they're going to do.
So I'm telling you, we need to figure out how we're going to play empty, and we need to play it without mistake
When
free.
they're empty, that quarterback is not coming out of the pocket.
Exactly. I mean, I would drop
That's
guys and have a whole bunch underneath. I would want to play 5 underneath, man. I would want to play.
Yeah. He's
Go
been
ahead.
sacked 6 times, only 6 times.
Yeah.
Bryce has been sacked 17. So we got to protect Bryce. And Bryce has the ability to escape the rush. And this kid is not. This kid's going to pass. And he's
Oh,
a
yeah.
gifted passer. Don't get me wrong.
Watch.
But he's not going to beat you running. They have to account for Bryce defensively. Running.
We have to watch.
We don't have to account for Sam. We don't have to account for him. And when he
Well, we
comes
need
out,
to do, Coach.
when he comes out, let me mention this. Our defensive backs got to hit him cleanly the way they hit Howard last year. When Howard came out of that and scrambled that one time, they hit him so hard that I can still feel the reverberation. And those were clean hits. And that will discourage him. That will discourage him. He's not been hit a lot. This kid has not been hit. And, Bryce has been hit a lot. And we'll see if he can hold on to the ball. But we got to get to him. We need more, and we need Barham, and we need TJ, and I think we have 3 sacks from our defensive linemen. We need those guys to push him into the
tackles. Yeah.
And then keep our zones, and then let the other guys squeeze and beat their tackles. They have one great tackle. The other tackle is, not rated as highly. Now, I say that. I've seen players that everybody thinks are average just play unbelievable in this game because they're going to so motivated and they play out of their mind. But we have to win them. We have to beat the man across from us. We have to defeat the man we're covering. We have to defeat the man we're running the ball against. We have to defeat the man blocking us. We have to defeat the defensive man who is the defensive man we have to block. We have to defeat the man across from us. And over time, we need to pound. We have to put doubt in the mind of Ohio State. They're coming in here as the national champs, number 1 in the country, who really has not been challenged in a game. They have not been gone into the fourth quarter where the game is, in the balance. They have not done that. So we have to put doubt in their mind right away. We have to let them know, hey, we're going to beat you again. We're here to beat you again. We beat you 4 times in a row. You're not coming into our stadium. Even though we have all these young guys. And everybody in the country thinks you're by far and away the best team in the country. That's what we have to do. And the way we're going to do that is play as a team. Play together. Execute. Play your position. Play as hard as you can. Hit as hard as you can. In between the snap and the whistle. That's it. Then we go back and we reset. And we go again. And we have to understand that we could lose. Bo used to say, in this game, we could lose the game 13 times. 13 times they might go ahead of us. But we will win, we will prevail, and we will win 14 times. And that will be the end of the game. We're not going to give up. We're not going to get discouraged. We're going to play and play together. Play and play together. And understand, this is a gifted team. The Ohio State is this is one of the finest teams they've ever had down there. I mean, and they've had great teams, national championship teams. I mean, this is really, really a loaded team. And they're playing well together, and they believe in each other, and they're champions. So we have to dissuade them and confuse them and put doubt in their mind. And the fans can be part of that too. Now, I don't like yelling at people. I hate them and stuff like that. We don't hate them. I don't hate Ohio State. I respect Ohio State. I respect them. I love them. Hey, who would you rather play against? These rivalry games, I mean, if there was no Ohio State, what fun would this be? I mean, that makes it life worth living, and they feel the same way, just so you know. I mean, and the former players respect us, and we respect them, and the coaches too. That's why they all want to win those gold pants. No gold pants. No gold pants for you guys. That's what we got to say.
Well, that comes to this, Coach. I have a public service announcement. Hey, don't sell your freaking tickets to all those people that are worried about it being cold and hey, go to the game, cheer for Michigan. I don't know if you heard Sharon Moore talk about it. Yeah. He said, we need the most enthusiastic fans in the country on Saturday. And I believe that. Think about the guys that sold.
I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be yelling for our guys.
Hey, think about the guys that sold their tickets in 21 when Haskins went for 5 touchdowns, or 2 years ago when we went to 20. We don't want red all over the stadium. I mean, I hate it. We go to the Michigan
They're going
Ohio
to be
State.
up here, but that's okay. We treat them with respect. There's going to be
Yeah,
some up here because they're going to buy tickets, but that's okay. We're going to they're going to be mostly Michigan fans, but the Michigan fans have to be boisterous and behind our team, and that I'm telling you, when they come out of that tunnel, it's exciting, and people are going to yell, and we're going to be behind them. And I want the kids to be passionate, but Bryce has to be ice water in your veins, Bryce. Ice water in your veins. Doesn't
I,
matter who's
I,
yelling, what they're saying, what happens. You got ice water. That's how the quarterback has to be. He has to be calm. He has to be composed. He has to execute. Ice water in your veins.
I'm
Um,
ex-
Now, defensive and offensive linemen, they're fired up, man, because you can play with an abandon. Skill guys, be careful with the ball. Don't be careless. Sometimes when you're struggling and the ball comes out here, you break a tackle. Keep the ball in there, man. That ball is precious in this game. And turnovers will decide the game. It always does. They've only thrown they have four. His kid's thrown 4 interceptions. He has not been intercepted. And he makes great choices. I saw him get to the fourth receiver. I mean, he is really, really good. So he looked to the right, went to the first guy deep, wasn't there. The second guy, third guy was covered, went all the way to the backside, intermediate route, and made a great throw. This guy has great vision, so we have to destroy his rhythm. We have to confuse him, and Wink knows that. But we got to get to him. We got to make him reset his feet. We can't let him sit back there with impunity and pick us apart. And the way we're going to do that is strategically blitzing, but at the right time with pressure. But if we can get pressure with 4 and win the game on the LOS, we can win. Because that means we won't have to sink a man and make ourselves vulnerable somewhere in the secondary because this is a team like USC that will be capable of getting to the open spot.
yeah.
If we do, hopefully we'll have a few tricks or gimmick plays on offense.
I hope, Coach,
We're good.
Bryce is showing an aptitude for these flood concepts. Okay, he's throwing a lot of great balls to the sideline to Marsh, and that I hope we have a wrinkle off these floods where instead of that we're running that 10-yard out, now we're running a curl, or we got something now we're running a dig, and we got to have a.
I want to throw to the backs. I like those tight end.
He needs check downs. We got to check down the ball to win this game.
Small tight end plays.
Yes.
And there, I'm telling you, so Styles and the other kid are not great pass defenders. And actually, they've had some problem tackling. I got to be honest with you. If you really want it, they're great gifted players that are going to be drafted first round. Those 2 linebackers, but they've had some, and it's hard to tackle. Our man, or both our backs. But we got to be patient.
You better bring the whole gang to tackle Marshall, Coach.
Well,
you got to bring everybody. Yeah. No, I hear you.
We're going to be at our very best. and what a wonderful challenge this is. This team has kind of had their struggles. There's been a lot of criticism of coaches and players and everything else. That doesn't matter. Nothing matters now. We have to have a singular focus, and that's by being our very best and playing our very best, defeating the man across from you, being your best, playing as one team, playing as a heartbeat, one heartbeat, together, playing with the passion, the enthusiasm, and the capability and abilities you've never possessed before, being at your very best. And that's what it will take to win. That is the challenge. And isn't it wonderful to be challenged? We're not playing some team that we should just roll over. We're playing the Ohio State University, the national champions, undefeated, who everybody thinks is going to beat us. Everybody outside of passionate Michigan fans think that they will win. Well, we're going to play the game. Here's what we will do. We will play the game, and we'll see how it comes out. And we will play our very hardest, and we'll see how it comes out. We're not going to abdicate. We're not going to, there's no resignation. We're going to play. We're going to play, and we'll play hard. And Michigan teams always do that. They always do that in this game. It doesn't always come out the way we want. We went through periods where they beat us several years in a row. But we're going to fight. We're going to come back. Now, We got to do the things we talked about. We got to execute. No mistakes, turnovers. Got to kick well. Come on, Zavada. Come on, baby. You're our
He
guy.
hit a big
We
he
need
hit a
you.
big
We
one
need
in
you.
Maryland. It was nice to see him hit that
Yes,
long
David,
one in
he missed a
Maryland.
couple, but he's been inconsistent this year. Last year he beat him. Last year he beat him with a 50-yarder. Their kid missed the field goals. That's what plus them. So we need. Come on, brother. We got to punt well. Punt well. Their Ennis is their return guy, and he's pretty doggone good. So we got to now. They haven't returned any kicks. Nobody
And it,
scores against them, so they haven't returned any kicks. They're last in the conference, I think, in kick returns because they have none. Nobody scored against them. And then punt returns,
Ennis
they've
is
been pretty
good,
doggone
coach.
good.
Watch out for
That Ennis kid's 11 yards of return. And
wa-
so, but Marsh,
watch
our
out for
guy
him on
Marsh, be the
offense.
difference.
Yeah, watch
Our
out
guy
for
Marsh
Ennis on
be the difference.
offense too. If we're going to be
Oh,
focused on Cordell Tate,
he's a slot guy.
and
And Claire, the tight end, the kid who came from Purdue.
oh, though that's the best tight end they've had in years. He's really good. And then they got a blocking kid that's a
Well, he was the all conference tight end when he came from
yeah
Purdue.
yeah
And I think he grew up. Where did he grow up? Pickering or something? I think he grew
yeah
up.
Pickerington.
Yeah. So anyway, boy, it's going to be fun. And
Well,
I can't wait for it. It's exciting. I'm glad we got here. I'm glad we got to this point. After the USC game, I talked about. I think I said after uh, Oklahoma, I was disappointed but not discouraged. I think after USC, I said disappointed but discouraged. But I know this. It's not what happens to your life; it's how you react to it. And they reacted. Coach Moore reacted. Coach Wink reacted. He had a miserable game plan against SC. They threw the ball hot. Should have anticipated that. They caught him all the time. We were undisciplined with our pass, with our
we weren't ready for the hurry up.
rush lanes and all that
We,
stuff, and
yeah,
just laid a big egg up. But we responded, and we responded in a big way. Now we need all hands on deck. Hopefully, we'll have Bedison back. Hopefully, Hausman will be back. We need him. Young Bowles is playing really good at linebacker. When he comes in, we talked about the running back. What a wonderful thing, the way he showed up for that game and the way he played with tremendous pressure on him in a game that we had to have. So here we are.
I think
Here we are
more.
with one loss in the conference. They have
Yep.
none. They have none.
Our
If we
defensive
beat
end
them
more.
head to head, we go to the championship game
Yeah,
because we will tie with them for second place and we'll have beat them head to head. And so it's an exciting time. We have a young team, but they've been around. We have other guys on this team that have been part of a national championship team, so they know what it takes, what's required, and what these games are like. So they got to be our leaders, and they got to be at their very best. Uh, they got to play their very best. All our older guys got to be great, and they got to lead the way. And we got to take care of Bryce. We got to protect him, and we've done a much better job at that. And remember what I said. I don't like him rolling to the left right now because he throws the ball sidearm and he's throwing it. The ball's sailing on him right now. It appears to me. So let's not do that. Let's do what we do best. But make them defend the run. Make them defend the quarterback running the ball. And we get in the red zone. That's a big difference. That's a big difference. And we've got to tell those officials that Ohio State's going to pick down there when they throw these passes down in the red zone. We got
anytime
to
they
shut the run off. Shut the run. I say they're not a good running team.
anytime they bunch
Go ahead,
up,
Robert.
anytime they bunch up, we need to be aware of the picks. The refs need to be understand what's happening. And then if our defensive secondary can keep them in front of us and hold these guys to 3, because they will score points, and we force them to kick, this will afford us the capability to run the ball on them. So if our defense holds up their part, we'll hold up our part, and I think it will be a long day for Ohio State. That's my
Our defensive backs have to play without question their best game because they're going against 2 number 1 draft picks and maybe the best player in the country, Smith. And then Ennis is good, like you said, and Claire is good. They do not throw the ball a lot to the backs, but he'll throw it to the backs. I think Bo Jackson's caught 11 balls. So all these things we're going over, all these scenarios. It's going to come down to just being at our best. Sharon's and the staff have to be at their best. Uh, I like Sharon. I've talked about how good he is. I've talked about why we need to support him and the coaches. And Wink and Chip, I think Lindsay are really great assets to us, great resources, and they've been good. I talked about our running back coach. Coach Newsom's our guy. Coach Bellamy, all the coaches were behind him. I hope they know that. We love them. We're grateful for their effort, and we're just anxious for the kickoff. We're going to enjoy our families and have a nice time Thanksgiving. Watch some football. I think now it's interesting. Penn State and Rutgers are going to play, and that. So I think we have 11 teams going to bowl games in the Big Ten now, and Penn State, whoever wins that game, will get their sixth victory. Penn State could pull it out and go to a bowl game. Rutgers too. Northwestern, who I said I was rooting for, does have six now. They'll play Illinois. So, the conference could be well represented on New Year's Day. But we want to
Well,
be at CFP. We can get there. We can get there. The road is tough. I mean, the road is strewn with hazards. And a big one called the Ohio State University, the Buckeyes, a great team, the best team in college. Can we beat the best? We want to beat the best. That's what we want. That's the challenge. And we're
hell
looking
yeah.
forward to the challenge. We're looking forward to the challenge. We're going to play the game. We're going to be there waiting for you.
That's why
We're
you
going to
play
be
the
there.
game. Isn't that the Herm Edwards? That's why you play the game.
Uh,
Now, I
uh,
got something for you, Coach. Barbershop, Blades Barbershop. All right. 12-team playoff has changed the landscape of college football. When there was a 4-team playoff, the road to the playoff was still through Michigan, Ohio State. As we found out last year, you can lose to your rival and still go to the playoff and win the national championship. I believe this has actually made the rivalry more intense because it is strictly for winning the game. It is not about going to the Rose Bowl. It's not about this. It is strictly about you versus the other team winning your one-on-one matchup. What do you think? Some people say, oh, well, what would you rather be? Would you rather be Michigan last year that had the biggest upset ever or win the national championship? 90% of Ohio State fans would say we would rather lose the national championship and beat Michigan.
well, I
And
don't know 90%, but there's a significant amount of them.
the lunatics.
Coach Hayes said, if you don't beat Michigan, the other stuff means nothing.
Yep.
That's what Coach Hayes said. That's the most important game. I don't think the rivalry could be more intense than it was. Not that what I experienced. I could not have felt more intensity, more passion, more excitement about playing in the game, which was a great honor. And then coaching in the game, I don't know how you could feel it, have any more emotion or have more desire to win and to do well than I experienced. So I don't think it makes it any more intense. I think it's intense. It is what it is. A long time ago, we had a war with Ohio over the city of Toledo. I like to say that we won because Ohio got Toledo. Anyway, I don't want to insult the people in Toledo. And then we got the UP.
Yeah.
We love the UP. We love
Yeah, we
the
got
UP, and but anyway, there's been a rivalry. There's an economic rivalry. There's always been a rivalry between the two states, just because we, just like Texas and Oklahoma, and we
border
border.
lines.
And
Yeah.
then historically, Michigan had this great tradition, and Ohio State. Field and Yost built a great tradition long before Ohio State became a factor, really. But Ohio, in a real way, is like the birthplace of football. It
Yeah.
really is. Paul Brown and all these people, they invented the game virtually. And, pro football started there. It's all these great coaches have come out of there, through there, by there. Now, Michigan is the great Yost, Chrysler, Schembechler, all these great coaches, Carr, all these great coaches, great tradition.
So
Michigan has more wins than any other school in the history of college football.
so you don't and you don't
Michigan has the number one tradition
yes.
because we're the winningest by any measure. You could say these other schools, all that stuff, national championship. We have won more games and been a top 10 team, more than any other school in the history of the game. And we have produced some of the greatest players ever to play and some of the greatest teams.
So you don't
And
think
then
the
I want to mention this too. Some of the greatest guys. some of the greatest people you ever want to meet have been associated with this program, coaches and players, and they've gone on to do really big things. Now, Ohio State has the same thing. The state of Ohio is passionate. They got one school, one school. We have two, and everything focuses on them. It's a big city, Columbus, and growing all the time. In the state of Ohio, in these small manufacturing towns, extracurricular activities in football is very, very important to them. So there's a big emphasis on that. Not that there isn't in the state of Michigan, but it's less so, I think.
For
Um,
sure.
Down there, if they lose this game, this is the worst thing to happen. We're going to feel bad, but we're not going to cut our wrists. We're going to redouble our efforts, come back, play next year, because we got other things. We
Yeah.
got other things that we do up here,
Yeah.
and that's neither better. That's neither better or worse. That's just sort of an approach in the way we look at it. We respect them. We care deeply about the rivalry. We love their guys that I know that played there. I love them. They're wonderful people and great friends. Have been great friends. One of my best friends in the world is a guy named John Hicks, who was an all-in trophy winning All-American there. And now, but when I played against Hicks, I wanted to beat his ass. I wanted to beat him, But after that, he was a wonderful guy. Went no longer with us, but became in my later years one of my best friends and a great man.
That brings.
So that's Ohio State. That's
Well,
Michigan.
so you don't think
Great places.
you don't think the 12-team playoff has changed it? You think that the rivalry is the
Not just
rivalry,
rivalry,
and
not just-
it cannot be affected.
Well, it used to be. Here's what it was before when I coached and played, because they had an antiquated rule about one team going to the Rose Bowl. You didn't win, you didn't go. You sat home. Now we changed that. I talked about all these teams. They're going to do bowl games because of our teams, because of teams at Michigan, the teams I played on, and the teams my teammates played. Danny Franklin, those guys, a year younger than me, played on, that lost one game, and then didn't get tied in my senior year, 10-0-1, lost no games, and was denied the right privilege to go to a bowl game, which was antiquated, stupid, but it was win or go home. That's it. Win or go home. And so there was a lot of pressure on that. We want to go somewhere, and we're heartbroken because that was it, man. And now you get a second life. But I'll guarantee you, you play these games to win. That's why you play the game. And guys at this level, and coaches at this level, are given a lot. Have been given a lot of money. We didn't get any money. We got nothing.
No,
And the thrill of playing, and the coaches really didn't get paid huge amounts, huge sums, living wages. Now, of course, these people are millionaires, the players and the coaches, so maybe that's different. And so whatever happens there financially, for us, it was never a job or compensation. It was to win this game for Michigan, And I think that feeling sort of transcends all the money that has crept into this thing and has obscured the reason that these are young kids that are going to college to get their degree in their chosen field. They're still students and young men that are evolving and growing up and making mistakes and getting better, and they're going to have families and all that stuff. So we want to see them thrive and do well. But there's passion with this game. There's always has been, there always will be. And I don't think it'll go away. Ohio State still felt strongly. They won like 9 in a row. I don't know when we went through that crazy time. And when we beat Cooper all those years, they still wanted to win. In fact, they became more desperate to win. We became more desperate to win after you get shut out for a while.
The ebbs and flows of it, because like you said, you call it the dark times. There was a time where they put 62 points on us, and then finally we broke that game, and now it's the mental edge, the shift.
52. They did 52 to 14. They said to Woody, why'd you go for 2? And he said, because I couldn't go for 3.
No, well, yeah, I was talking about when Harbaugh, Don Brown gave up 62, but I remember
we gave up 62 points.
I forget what it was. It was
that era. I have sort of like the Mason. Gerald Ford called the long, nightmare that the country had been through after the Nixon impeachment, all that stuff. The long American nightmare. I call that the long maize and blue nightmare of that era, when there was no reason for it. To be honest with you, just poor choices by administrators and poor coaching.
Well, now,
Not good recruiting, and they didn't live up to the expertise. And it's really, that's what happens. You get the
well,
wrong
that's
position
what
of
brought us.
authority, things don't go well.
Well, that's what brought us to this point, and then last year's amazing upset. So, I mean, I'm all game for this roller coaster we're on, Coach. There's not, like you said, there's nothing better than being challenged in life. Perseverance.
There's my Lincoln thing that I give to my kids. Perseverance. We got to persevere. Michigan's got to persevere. I don't know if you guys have ever read this. I'll just read it for you real quick. It's really impressive. Lost his job in 1831, defeated for state legislator 1832, failed in business 1833, 35 his sweetheart died, 36 he had a nervous breakdown, 38 defeated in his run for Illinois state speaker, 43 defeated run for Congress, 48 defeated 1848 defeated run for Congress, 1849 rejected his bid to be a land officer, 1854 defeated his run for U.S. Senate, 1856 defeated nomination for vice president, 1858 defeated in a run for United States Senate, 1860 elected president of the United States. Perseverance, persevere. That guy, of course, is one of the greatest human beings ever lived, along with George Washington, our people that could have been king, decided, didn't want to be king, wanted democracy. Believed in liberty. These men built our country. Those are our values. That's why we always try to say it doesn't matter what happens to you. You win and lose games. It's how you come back, how you react to it. And during the course of a game, there will be ebbs and flows. We just talked about that, the series. But during the course of this game, mark my words, there'll be times when it looks like you're not going to win, times when it looks like the other team has all the momentum. And it'll be the same thing for both sides. And it's the team that has the will, the mental toughness, the desire to persevere that'll win. And that usually is how this game goes. The ball has points on it. It bounces funny sometimes. And it can bounce against you. And you can miss kicks and all that stuff. But this is a wonderful experience for all of us. It's got us all fired up. We're all excited about this game. And it's a privilege to be part of it. We should all feel that way. And I want to repeat that we need to respect, like I say about Michigan State, we respect them. We respect our opponent, but we're going to play our asses off, and there's nobody we'd rather beat. And we're going to play hard. We're going to play hard, man. And when we might not beat you, but after you're done playing Michigan, you will know that you have been in a game, in a contest. It is a competition. It's a competition between young college students. We want to see them all do well. We respect those other guys, but we're going to play. We're going to play like hell. We're going to play our asses off. We're going to play to win. We're going to care deeply about and passionately about winning. But the big thing is execute, execute, execute. Play great. Remember what I said about halftime adjustments. I have seen halftime adjustments change this game. Sharon and Wink have been doing a great job, and Chip, and we've done a good job on that ever since the USC game. That is a big part of this whole thing. The key to it is also preparation. I believe we've had good preparation. But this week, when you
Five P's, Coach, the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
That's a good one. I like it. And so, and part of that is understanding what they're going to do and be prepared for it. Route recognition, all those things come into this week. You don't have to worry too much about the physical part of it. That's going to take care of itself. But the mental part of it, and practice is rehearsal. Remember what practice is? It's rehearsal. So you try to mimic realistic situations in practice and then teach the appropriate response. And you do that through repetition. And that's what practice is. So we have to know so I can predict what they're going to pass. They're going to pass. And
Coach, they're going to pass. Well, I got one more segment for you, and then I'll let you give your final remarks, okay? The truth serum, we always talk about it. I like to tell you, this is one I heard a story. I think Justin told me.
Bourbon. I thought bourbon was it. It could also generate a lot of false. Bourbon could also generate a lot of bad behavior and false.
We need to start selling bourbon like The Rock and all these guys. Clooney.
We're going to buy Woodson's bourbon, but I'm going
to then give it away as a present. So here's my question to you, Coach. That picture I posted of you versus Purdue, did Woody Hayes really show Ohio State football players about your ball security?
in the film too. Yeah, that's what I didn't know this. So John Hicks, when I first met John after we had played, now John came out. John's famous because they had this crazy thing where they came down, tore down our banner. So
Yeah.
we didn't even know they did it because we were inside. They came out first, and they tore down the banner. Woody was up there with them, tearing the banner down. That's how excited and and a ferocious team. And Hicks was out the trophy winner, and he's the captain of the team, a wonderful guy. So when I met him a few years later, after he had played pro football, I had played 1 year pro football, and I was out of coaching actually. I went down there to speak, and John Wenger and I would go down every year and speak at the Tuesday before the Ohio State game, whether it was there or here. And I did it with Urban Meyer and several guys like that, and some of the great players, and Lou Holtz and all these people. But John always wanted me to come down. But first time I went down there, I went to him. I said, "Hicks, Bob Thornblade, University of Michigan." He goes, "I know who you are." And I said, "Yeah, I know who you are. You tried to tear down our banner, you son of a bitch." And then he goes, "I know who you are because Woody talked about you." I said, "What?" He said, "Well, I had made a mistake in my junior year of fumbling. I had about 30, 40 yards on the ground playing Northwestern. And they had a big guy named Anderson who went on to play pro football tackle, and he was one of the first guys that punched the ball on me. And the old man, I went on the sideline. He said, 'You sit your ass on the bench. If you don't take care of the ball, that's a precious commodity. You're not going to play. I don't need fumblers or mistake players.' People turn about because I sat, and then I went to sat there. And I went back in. and later on, one of the coaches said, 'I think they must have sent that kid to Siberia or something.' So my teammates always kidding me about that. But anyway, so after that, I'll guarantee I had ball security. I never fumbled again, and I carried the ball a lot. Did 13 touchdowns. Not because I got the ball, because he gave me the ball down there, and mostly because we were in spirit every other team we played. But he said he showed everybody how you carried the ball. He said, 'That's how you carry the ball. That's how you watch that guy, that Thornblade from Michigan.' So that's why.
So you would have the 5 points of pressure, and you would even come over top.
I was going to drop it because I knew if I dropped it, I'd sit down again, and I would incur his wrath, which I did not want to do. I did it a few times in my life and paid dearly. You didn't want to do that. Get the old coach mad at you. But that's how that's a great teacher. If you were a mistake player, you didn't play. Didn't tolerate mistakes. He understood you'd make mistakes, but he demanded excellence and performance, and that's how he did it. And that's why John said that Woody used to, and we got sick of hearing about you and how you held onto the ball. Woody would use that. Look at that guy from Michigan. Look at how he does Thornblade. Look at how he does that. Now, I don't know that, but I know that John told me the story, so I believe it. I don't think John would misrepresent that. But John,
Well,
after John died, Sports Illustrated, they wrote a nice article about our friendship, which you could get online. I had to put that out there. But in the respect that Archie was part of that, Archie Griffin, the great two-time Heisman Trophy winner. So I love those guys. But when I play them, I'm going to try to beat them. And I'm going to do everything that I can, humanly possible, to beat them. And that's got to be our approach. Within the rules. No mistakes, no penalties, no turnovers. Win the kicking game. Play great defense. Tackle. Everybody to the ball. That's what we got to do. And be prepared. Be prepared for things to happen in that game, and be prepared to come back. When you have adversity, it's how you come back. Not that you experience it. It's going to happen. And hang in there. The fans got to be behind us. We got to believe. We're going to play the game. They're highly touted, the greatest team, one of the greatest teams in Ohio State, the greatest team in the country, number one in everybody's poll. We're not. Nobody's rating Michigan highly. Nobody expects us to win. Nobody rates us. Nobody thinks we'll be in a CFP. But that's okay. We're Michigan. We're going to play the game. We'll be there. The fans will be there. The team will be there. And we're going to play, and we're going to play to win. That's how we're going to do it.
Perseverance, Coach. I love talking to you about it. Thanks for your time today.
President Lincoln.
Let's go, baby.
Every American can learn from that. Every American, every person in the world can learn from his example. And that's what this great country of ours and the wonderful belief systems we have. And that's why I don't want to call names and all this crap people do now.
Well, all that stuff benefited the opportunity for us to be at this great spectacle at an unbelievable stadium where we all get to come together and cheer for our, who we love to
Griffin,
cheer.
Apollon Cassidy, John Hicks, had all these great players that have played there. Jack Tatum, and all these marvelous players. Could go on and on. Tom Brady played in this game.
Charles Woodson,
Charles
Desmond
Woodson
Howard,
and distinguished himself. Biaka Batuka, Dan Dierdorf, John Johnson. All these, and they have the same.
Donovan Edwards
All these
played
great
unbelievable in this
showed
game.
up. It showed up, and so we're going to show up. And they have wonderful players and coaches, and so we love it because it is a challenge. And if we could beat them, and we can beat them if we do all the things we talked about, we have beaten the best. And what's more fun than that? Let's
do it.
Competition. All right, brother, go Blue. Go
Hey,
Michigan.
We're ready to go.
Here we go, Michigan. Here we go.
Let's go. Go Blue, Coach.
Go Blue.